Hello everybody and welcome back to RogueTech, where last episode we did take some damage. There's no doubt about that. Honestly, I should have fought that over the canyon engagement differently. There's no doubt about that, and I definitely will in similar engagements in the future. However, I was thinking about this. We have 9 days until the next financial report. Maybe we should prioritize only one of these and get these others done. Or maybe just get the faster repairs done first. Something like this. This way we can deploy. We will not have a guillotine or a dragon slayer or a marauder. Of course, the marauder didn't take damage. We're still prepping the marauder. But maybe. Let's go ahead and tick forward here. We don't mind necessarily taking the month tick. We've got the cash. I do want to hop into our engineering here, though. That does finish up our tanks and storage. So that's great. We've only got 4 upgrades left. 2 medical upgrades. We've got this morale upgrade here that I'm not going to prioritize. And then we've got our high G burn drive upgrade. Now, this is a good upgrade for us to grab. It's fairly expensive, which we've got the cash for right now. Travel time reduction. We're not currently traveling, so this is good. We should grab this now before we do travel. And +1 tech points to repair things faster. So we'll go ahead and grab this. Now that puts us down to 1.5, and now we are bankruptcy projected. Okay, so that means we definitely do need to deploy. And that's okay. We will go ahead and tick forward, looks like 3 more days here. A turn for the worse, huh? Save a mech warrior at any cost. Okay, that's fine. Excellent. Things have gone from bad to worse. A mech warrior's condition has deteriorated. So he's not going to be back for a while. 70 days, okay. Good thing we've got some spares. So we're going to continue ticking here until, let's see here, is that the guillotine done? Yeah, that's the guillotine done. We should not tick any more unless we want Blaze back. I'm going to tick 1 more day. We'll get Blaze back, and now we'll go ahead and take a look at this. And the reason I did that is because a mech warrior is going to be out for so long.
Yes, Commander.
So that's okay. Let's see, El Duce here can take a point of gunnery, absolutely.
I'm receiving you.
Jinx can get a point of gunnery too. Do it. Kraken, a point of gunnery. Yes, I'm very happy with all these gunnery points.
Aye, aye.
Tarbox, a point of gunnery. Do it. That was very good. I'm extremely happy about that. Now, we do have to deploy or scrap something, but I'm going to deploy here. We're going to be short on our cavalry lance, for sure. So we want to do something probably a little more simple. This is an escort. Might not be too bad. Not this battle, I can tell you that. Ooh, this recovery, though. This one might be a good option. It's a good salvage opportunity. This is not a double priority salvage, but even so, this will give us a good chunk of cash. It'll give us enough to repair. Alternatively, we could run here. It's what? 150k, roughly, for a priority salvage. I think we'll just sit right down the middle then. That said, this would lose us our reputation with the Greater Valkyrie, and maybe we shouldn't do that. Now, this one, or this one, that's a duo duel, and that's a solo duel. Okay, I'm not actually interested in doing those. Huh. In that case, maybe that's a defend base. That wouldn't be terrible for our juggernauts. It'd be against the Valkyrians, but maybe we don't care. This one would actually not cost us our reputation level. Okay, yeah, I think we do this. Yeah, we're not going to get salvage. I think that's okay. We're just going to take max pay here, and that'll get us a little bit of a nest egg into next month, but next month we'll get our cavalry lance back in full, and that'll be good. Now, Blaze, of course, isn't going to have anything to pilot, but otherwise, this should be fine. We've got our vehicles, we've got our juggernauts, and we've got our centurion and our guillotine. It'll have to do. Let's go. So this is a recovery mission, so in theory, this won't even be all that complicated for us, which would be good. We do not need complicated right now. I wouldn't mind complicated in about 22 days. Actually, I might still mind complicated in 22 days. I'd have to look at the situation. But I wouldn't mind complicated when we've got a bit of a nest egg and our mechs are all good to go. But right now, this should not be very complicated. At least, in theory. The real question, of course, is what are we going to be up against? We need to retrieve operatives and biological samples and escape. We need you to recover our operatives from inside a Valkyrian research facility. They'll be carrying highly sensitive scientific materials which must be returned to us. These materials are of a biological nature and must not be tampered with. Opening or tampering with the materials will be considered a breach of contract. Yeah, Clan Diamond Shark isn't kidding about that one. Okay, so this is our drop point. Do we have allies? No, we don't. That's fine. That's the secondary zone and the primary zone there. I would love to drop right here. Sadly, we can't. Perhaps we drop... Oh, there's maybe a blocking force up over here? We could just drop here and make our way down the road. I suppose that's an option. It's not a great one. It'll take our juggernauts until they get here to have a clear LOS of anything down here. But maybe that's not so bad. Let's go ahead and do this. We can just sprint down the road, and juggernauts move at an okay clip on the road.
Prime beach real estate. There were a beach. Well, this is a hellhole.
You're not wrong. So we don't immediately see any enemies. That's fine. We can begin sprinting down the road, and that's something that I'm definitely interested in doing. We will come on down over this way.
I'm walking here.
We're kind of clumping up here, which I don't care too much for. But the harasser will go ahead and head out here, and we'll see what we can see. Yeah, I'm not shocked that that's an enemy contact. We definitely see some enemies out over there. The Nidhogg will start accelerating. The J. Edgar will make its way off over this direction as well. So we do see some aircraft over here. Okay, that's a pretty heavy blocking force, but it should be fine.
On my way.
Okay, so that's an Ifrit. Firing on the J. Edgar, missing. This is not a surprise. That's a Nidhogg. Not shocking that that missed the J. Edgar as well. Okay.
Orders?
Our Nidhogg will make its way up. This is an Atlas AS7D. Clan version, apparently. This is an Archer. This is a Talos. They've got a Palisade over there, a Talos, a Palisade, a Ballista. And that's a Hunchback 5J over there. Okay. How fast can we get moving here, is the question. Not tremendously. These guys are not currently super clumped up. So we're just going to position the Nidhogg up here for now. And I think that we will fire the snub nose at this Archer due to hit odds. I'm not going to fire these rocket packs, I don't think. Actually, I changed my mind. I am going to fire the rocket packs at this Archer. There we go. Okay, there's a Marshal back there. Sure. Firing on the J. Edgar, doing nothing at all. We don't mind that. Next up is our Sorcerer. And we're going to step up with the Sorcerer.
Confirmed.
And we're going to continue, I think, working on the Archer. Until we have LOS, anyway. That archer is looking like a decent target to me. A couple of bits of splash damage there as well. Not bad. That Hunchy is going to fire on the J. Edgar. That is the LRM variant of Hunchy. Okay, that's not very scary. That's good. Next up is our Guillotine. Our Guillotine is going to sprint up the road. It cannot get in LOS. That's fine. That's a Grasshopper over there. So we've definitely got 3 lances. But this should be decent terrain for us to fight in. Now, I'm going to take the J. Edgar over here, and we're going to engage this lance with our vehicles. So we're going to position here. And the question is, do we want to go for this Talos? Or do we want to go for the Archer? We've already softened up the Archer a little bit. The question is, which one will heat be more effective on, or which one has weaker rear armor? And I think it's the Archer. I think we got to go for the Archer here. We did break the armor already, so that's great. This is the Palisade moving.
I've been sensor locked.
Sensor locks the Nidhogg, okay. And does nothing to the J. Edgar. Perfect. We don't care if they're shooting at our vehicles, even if they hit. It's completely fine. We're going to move up with our Archer. Our concern right now is that the Atlas charges in and hits this flank. That would be slightly concerning, but I think given our current hit odds, that we continue to go for this Archer. I don't actually necessarily like that, though. Maybe we go for the Talos, because I feel like the Archer is handleable with our vehicles. So we'll do a little bit of armor shred on the Talos. We have no cavalry lance, and we need to consider that. A little bit of damage to the Nidhogg there, but that's fine.
Losing armor.
You're okay for now.
Yes, Commander.
Our Jaeger is going to sprint up the road as far as it can, which isn't super far.
Acknowledged.
Okay, next up. That's another Hunchy over there. Or no, that's a Roughneck. Never mind.
Yep.
Ignore me. Our Centurion is going to move up. I want to check on potential options for splash damage. Maybe here, but I don't think either of those are super good. I would kind of prefer that we go for the Archer here. Reason being, we might hit rear arc with this indirect fire. That's a lower leg destruction. Interesting. Was that a through armor crit? The Archer backs off. Fires on the Nidhogg. Doesn't do a tremendous amount to it, but the Nidhogg's armor is weakening. And the Archer's heat is getting up there. LRMs on the Harasser is irrelevant. We don't care. They can do that all they want. Talos back there. Going to fire rear arc on the J. Edgar. Not going to do anything. That we're A-okay with. Okay, next up is the Harasser movement, and I would love to get the Harasser into rear arc of this Archer. Unfortunately, we can't, so instead we're going to position behind the Talos. And we're going to look to heat this guy on up as well. Now, he's not too likely to get overheated, but we could still do enough damage that we could theoretically kill him.
All right.
But I doubt we will. Yeah. Not shocked by this. The Atlas moves up, probably goes for the Nidhogg. Actually, it goes for the Centurion indirectly. I disagree with that choice. Okay, they're shooting at the J. Edgar. They're not going to get anything out of that. We don't mind this. Our Maxim, how far up can it get? It actually can just squeak into rear arc of this Talos, and that's what we're going to do. Do we fire this Inferno, or do we fire this Standard? I think we fire this Inferno here, because I don't think our hit odds are good enough to get a kill on this guy. But we can get a shutdown on him. I say as we get an ammo explosion.
Think I hit something good.
Yeah, that wasn't bad. That wasn't bad at all. We'll take it.
Waiting on you.
So our imp is going to sprint up the road as much as it can, which is not very much. It is, after all, a juggernaut. And we'll see what else the enemy have to move. That was not good for them. So that's an Inferno ammo artillery of some type, but they hit their archer with it. Who, by the way, is already overheated. The Nidhogg moves up, fires on the J. Edgar. It does get a hit there.
Minimal damage on that.
But that's okay. We don't mind. Next up, who do they move? Who indeed? Is this their Ifrit? Yes. Okay. And it unjammed its AC-20. Sure. Our archer is going to sprint up just as much as it can, which isn't a tremendous amount. This is, however, in ideal range for the Atlas. Almost ideal range for the archer. These guys are a ways out there, and they're AMS protected for sure. I think we're going to start armor shredding the Atlas here. Yeah, attacking an Atlas front arc isn't necessarily ideal, though. I don't necessarily like that. The Palisade, perhaps? Or maybe just try to power through the AMS that we know is probably there. And yeah, it definitely is there. There's definitely AMS on those. Just looking for other options here. The Talos is manageable with the vehicles, and I feel like the Atlas is as well. And the Archer. So maybe this Palisade is in fact the best option. Its front arc is very well armored, but it's just out of AMS range, I think. Yeah, we'll take that. It's not great damage, but we knew it wouldn't be. So that's, I think, fine. I'm going to move the J. Edgar off over here. This is only 2 evasive pips. We're going to move to here and get a 3rd evasive pip. Yeah, that does give us some burn damage, and the J. Edgar will likely die, but we could potentially get a lot of damage done to this Talos. He didn't shut down from it. Okay. Next up is our Sorcerer, and we're going to move up over here. I'm very interested in attacking areas like this right now, or actually like this. This is ideal. We'll go ahead and attack this Talos.
Attacking from position.
Not a great first shot, but an okay second shot. Punchy moves up, attacks the Maxim, does nothing. That's fine. Next up is our Guillotine, and our Guillotine is going to advance down this way. And I wouldn't mind positioning here.
All right.
From this position, we're relatively sheltered from this over here, although the Atlas can probably swing out this way, I'm guessing. So we may want to Vigilance the Guillotine here. And we're going to potshot this Ifrit with our binary laser. We actually do have X2. And that might be better off for us right now. That's something I need to consider using. It does less damage, but we have more chances to hit.
Aye, aye. Engaging target.
Where's that second one? Game? There we go. It just took forever. Cool. So the Talos moves in the fire. Fires at the J. Edgar, I believe. Does it shut down from that? It does not. Okay. Our Nidhogg is going to move up and around the Atlas.
On my way.
And we're going to hit this Atlas as hard as we can in its rear arc. This is potentially going to do a fair amount of damage. This is, of course, an Atlas's weakness. Structure exposure there. We broke through the armor in 2 locations, but no crits. Okay. Hunchback, firing on the Maxim. Not doing anything. This is fine. I have no problems with what we're up against here right now.
Commander.
Our Jaeger is going to sprint up the road as much as it can, which is not enough to get into the fray this round. The Grasshopper moves up, fires on the Maxim, does literally nothing. Wonderful. Okay. Another LRM attack on the Maxim, doing nothing. This is fine. This is completely okay.
Yep.
Our Centurion is going to step up over here,
Yeah.
and we're going to probably target the same place that our Sorcerer did, which was this up here. So hit this Talos.
Attacking from position.
That wasn't a great shot. It was enough to hit the Talos, but it wasn't great.
Watch the flank.
You're okay. You've got 7 evasive pips. Excellent. Next up is our Harasser. Now the question is, do we finish off the Talos with the Harasser? And I think the answer here is yes, except no. We get more evasive pips by coming up and hitting the Archer. But do we actually care if the Atlas kills the Harasser? I don't think we do.
Acknowledged.
If the Atlas kills the Harasser, that's fine.
Acknowledged.
And that's a dead Talos. That's a trade I'm willing to make.
Enemy eliminated.
I'm very happy about this. Yes, the Atlas will almost certainly fire on the Maxim? That was a really questionable choice. You had rear arc on a 1 evasive pip Harasser, and you fire on the Maxim. That's front arc with 7 evasive pips. The Archer now moves. Fires on the J. Edgar. Fair enough. It should have probably fired on the Maxim, but that's a decent target to go for. And it shut itself down. Fascinating. Is this in rear arc? Not quite. Can we get into rear arc without getting into the fire? No. We have to go into the fire, and I think we accept this.
Hauling ass.
We're going to go with standard SRMs here. And we're going to light this guy up. This Archer will probably end up dying here. Not the greatest rolls, but that Archer is very hurt. Okay, the Talos moves up, fires LRMs on the Maxim. Sure, we don't care. Can do that all at once. Yeah, that Archer is incredibly close to dead.
What can I do for
So our Imp is going to sprint up the road and do what it can to get into firing
Attack
range.
speed, no shooting.
We knew that this was going to be an awkward approach. I don't think that's a long tom. I think that's a sniper artillery. And it's missed twice, so that's great. Okay, who's their phase 27 mover? That'll be the Ifrit. The Ifrit could kill the Harasser for sure. It went for the Maxim. It did get the hit. It didn't get the kill.
Yep.
Okay. Our guillotine is going to continue moving down this way. I am not going to be firing on the Archer with the guillotine. I wouldn't mind firing on the Palisade. And I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to fire the binary laser in standard mode here, since it has a much better hit chance. Not bad damage. We'll take it. Okay, next up. Phase 23. This will be their Nidhogg. Also going for the Maxim. It also hit. The Maxim is not going to last very much longer.
I can't take
Especially in that fire. Okay. Our Jaeger, however, is now in position to begin putting down fire on their gunships. And we're going to go ahead and fire on the Nidhogg. We do have the anti-air quirk on the Jaeger, so that is great. That is a pair of heavy hits there. Marshall moves up. Fires on the J. Edgar. Sure. Please, continue that. I'm A-okay with this.
I'm ready.
It is our Archer moving now, and we're going to step up to here with our Archer. And the question is, what do we go for? Palisade? Talos? this palisade. Definitely not. We could go for the Nidhogg here. It would have AMS. But maybe we don't care. Maybe we want to prioritize getting rid of these guys. Do it. If we can trigger the AMS now, then we might be able to get the Sorcerer in range to do a flak firing, which would be good to not have AMS for. So you've got a Roughneck over there, of course. It didn't do anything. They have a lot of phase 20 movers. Palisade firing on the Nidhogg. Not doing anything to it right now. That's good. AMS doing its job there. Grasshopper coming up and firing on our Guillotine. Sure, AMS working there too. Next up, of course, is our Centurion, who can just get into LOS here
Roger.
to fire on these guys in flak mode, and that is indeed exactly what we're going to do. And that's a bad miss. 72.5% too. Yikes. That was not ideal. Our Hunchy, or rather their Hunchy, moves up, fires on the J. Edgar, does nothing. Nada zilch. Next up, the J. Edgar. I want to send the J. Edgar down over this way. This is technically flames on the way. What is the facing of this guy? Okay. This would be a lot of flames. What if instead we worked our way around like this?
Roger that.
And it's mostly a distraction. We can then hit the palisade with our double damage vehicle flamers, which don't actually appear to be doing double damage here.
Taking the shot.
Actually, I think they are. Yeah, they're doing double damage. Okay, there we go. That'll do. Phase 18. Their Hunchy moves up. Fires on the J. Edgar. Perfect. That's actually more hits than I expected, given that that is 8 evasive pips, but we don't care if they attack the J. Edgar. I'm going to take the Harasser up over this way. The Harasser is fresh. Just thinking about bomb dropping. I'm actually not going to take the Harasser up this way. I'm going to take the Harasser over here, I think. We can't fire on the Nidhogg, which makes me sad. We could come over here and fire on the Palisade with double damage flamers. Now, we're going to run out of flamer ammo pretty soon. But I feel like that was a decent attack there. Palisade firing on the J. Edgar. It failed. It also turned before then, so it doesn't have any evasive. The Nidhogg is going to close in on the Atlas as little as it can. Like so. And then we're going to hit this Atlas as hard as we can rear arc.
Putting one in the back.
That Atlas is a lot less dangerous now.
Target's taking a
And that's a knockdown. So that should be 2 pilot wounds. Very, very good. So yeah, it ended up losing its AC-20. So that is a big amount of its danger point. So we're going to move the Sorcerer up to here. This is perfect. What we want is to be able to fire on this Nidhogg in flak mode.
confirmed. Firing.
Good. Rotor crit.
Reporting. Critical hit.
That'll do. And we also shredded some armor off of that Ifrit at the same time. That's very, very good. Now the Maxim can get out of here. Is there anywhere we can go without being flames on the way? I kind of doubt it. I think we maybe position the Maxim back here and go for the kill on the Palisade. Yes, we'll take flame damage. Yes, that archer is still alive, but that archer is, I think, sufficiently stricken that we don't care. We're going to go ahead and fire Inferno rounds, since this is a vehicle. And realistically, we probably should have been front arc. Yeah, we should have been front arc there. I should have looked at that. That's my bad. Oof. That's very rude. That's very, very rude. That's okay, though. We don't care about our vehicles. They are mostly a distraction. The imp is almost in firing position. It's not quite there yet. The Atlas gets up, which is perfect for us. Backs up. Fires on the Nidhogg. Doesn't do anything, hardly. Very little damage dealt there. It did unjam another Ultra Autocannon. Or, no, that was the same Ultra Autocannon that we destroyed that it unjammed. Okay, that's odd. Phase 24 is, of course, going to be these guys moving. They're going to probably target our vehicles down here. That's what they should do. Yeah, this is what they should do. Yep. That's fine. That's completely fine. We don't mind.
Standing by.
The Jaeger will move up.
On my way.
And with its anti-air quirk, I would like to actually go for the Nidhogg, which hasn't moved yet. So we will look to shoot that down.
Engage.
Not quite what we were looking for there, but it'll have to do. Marshall will move up, fire on the J. Edgar, which may die any moment now. That's fine. We don't care. If they want to do that, more power to them. Hunchy moves up,
Watch my six.
fires on the J. Edgar. It's fine. Hover propulsion is destroyed. The J. Edgar will die.
Oh,
We don't care.
crap. What was that?
We do not care.
Receiving you.
The Sorcerer is going to position up over here.
On it.
Unfortunately, AMS, I believe, is still active here. We're going to take the risk and hope that some Arrow 4s get through.
Aye, aye.
Ah, yep, AMS was indeed still active. I should have reserved it until after the Archer. The Nidhogg backs off and fires on the Centurion. It does get some good hits there. Okay. I definitely should have reserved until after the Archer. That said, there's only the one Nidhogg here now, and it has basically no armor. So the Archer should be able to finish it off. That's not quite a destruction. That's a lot of crits. Oof. There's basically nothing left there. Firing on the Harasser, sure. That's another distraction for them.
Commander.
We don't mind this.
What do you need?
So the Guillotine is going to continue heading down the hill. And I think that the Guillotine probably looks to finish off this Nidhogg. I'm going to fire the binary laser in X2 mode. Okay. Let's try to get that second one quickly here. No, no luck. That's fine. If a single one of those had hit, that Nidhogg would be dead. Unfortunately, it is not. Now, the Jaeger, we can't actually move it because we'll die to burn damage. But what we can do is we can hit the rear arc of this palisade one last time.
Affirmative.
That's what we'll do. Yes, the J. Edgar will die. No, we don't care. There we go. He wasted some ammo, wasted a turn. That's okay.
Receiving you.
So at this point, I'm going to take the Harasser up into the rear arc of the Archer here, and we're going to look to finish the Archer. Take him out.
Take this.
And that's a dead Archer. Perfect. And if the Harasser dies there, that's a trade I am 100% willing to make. Every time. Palisade moves over, fires at the Harasser. Does get a little bit of damage in, but it does not kill. Wonderful.
Standing by.
The Nidhogg is going to position behind the Atlas again.
Got it.
And at this point, the Nidhogg has basically soloed the Atlas.
Got the angle.
Light him up.
The shot.
And that's a dead Atlas. The Nidhogg soloed it.
One less target.
Excellent. And that's a full Lance dead. Next, the priority targets are definitely their aircraft. So let's work on those, shall we?
Waiting on you,
The Imp
Commander.
is going to head down here. Actually, we're going to position the Imp here temporarily. And I think the imp will probably go for... We'll go for the Nidhogg. I want to finish this Nidhogg. It's dead. Okay, the Nidhogg is down. Fantastic. Next up is our Centurion. The Centurion is going to move here to ditch some of that unsteady. And then we're going to fire the Sniper Artillery in flak mode at the Ifrit. And that's a direct hit. I like it. That's some good armor shred on that Ifrit. Their Hunchback moves up, fires on our Guillotine. We don't care. Irrelevant. It didn't even do damage. Sure. They're going to fire on the Harasser. Also irrelevant. They did 10 damage. We don't care. The Harasser already did its job. Next up. The Guillotine will continue heading down the hill here. We'll position here.
Copy that.
And I think we continue to go for the Ifrit. Given our current... What is the point of ever not being on X2 mode? I guess it goes faster? There's that. But if X2 does 70 damage when it hits, I guess it's just a little more risky on higher hit chance, right? But let's just go ahead and leave it on that. One hit. And eventually, we'll get a second hit. Well, hopefully. Yeah, so it paid off there. Fantastic. And now the Ifrit will move. It'll probably go and kill the Harasser if it's smart. Or it'll just back off. Okay. The Jaeger will advance down the hill. And will continue to fire on the Ifrit. And that's a dead Ifrit.
Reporting. Vehicle destroyed.
So what's our priority target now? Maybe that Roughneck? But his heat is probably super high.
I'm your spaniel.
Our Archer is going to move down to here, and our Archer's priority is pretty much armor strip on whatever's... Ooh, look at this cluster over here. Ooh, 48% there. And we've got 48. Actually, the Palisade is what we want to hit here. We could theoretically kill the Palisade with the Archer. That'd be nice if we did. Not quite, but that's a lot of tracked propulsion crits.
I think things are going.
It might kill itself by moving through the fire. Grasshopper moves up. Fires on the Guillotine. This is expected. The Guillotine is fine for now. Next up,
Standing by.
the Centurion will step over this way.
Acknowledged.
And I absolutely want to fire on this cluster of enemies over here. Now, we're in flak mode right now. We obviously want to be on either indirect or direct. We're out of range for direct mode, so we will fire on this cluster of enemies in indirect mode. Not ideal. We only hit 2 of them, but it'll do. The Marshal moves out of that formation. I don't blame it. Fires on the Guillotine. Does nothing. Our AMS still doing work. Next up, the Harasser. I'm going to use the Harasser to come down over here and finish off this Palisade. This will use up the last of the standard heavy flamer ammo, and I'm okay with that. There we go.
Crawler destroyed.
One dead Palisade.
My flamer
Next
is
up,
empty.
they're going to move their Hunchy a little bit. It didn't move very far. They're going to go on the Harasser. That's fine. We don't care if they kill the Harasser. And, of course, the Nidhogg, I think, is going to start closing in on the Palisade and Roughneck over here. So we're going to start speeding up, and then we'll fire on maybe one of these guys over here. 18.3, 23.3. We'll fire on this Grasshopper.
Taking the shot.
We didn't hit, but we don't care. That is completely okay.
Damage. Repeat. Negative damage.
Next up, that is going to be their Palisade, firing on the Harasser. Sure, go for it.
Armor breach. Internal
Our
damage.
vehicles achieved their goal, so it's fine. The Sorcerer is going to actually sprint down the road a bit here, so that we get in position. And the question is, do we want to go for the 2 hunchies or do we want to go for the marshal here? And I think we go for the 2 hunchies because they're probably much lower in terms of their armor. So let's go ahead and switch this over to indirect mode is what we got to do.
Confirmed.
Solid damage. I like it. The hunchie moves up. Fires on the harasser. Sure. Took out the hover propulsion. Okay. Go for it.
Critical hit. Critical
Do that all you want.
Hear ya.
Our imp is going to come on down the hill a little bit. And we're going to fire on probably one of these guys over here. Probably actually the grasshopper. There's a lot of stray shot opportunity over there, though. Light him up.
Got it.
Okay, we only hit with 1 large laser there, but that's fine. Talos moves up. Fires on that harasser. Finally finishes it off. Sure, go for it. Not relevant to us. Finally, this fire went out. That's great. They seem to be out of artillery ammo. That's also great. We're going to come down here with the Jaeger. We could fire on the Palisade, 78% chance. We could fire on this Talos, 73% chance. This would be side arc on this Palisade. Unlikely to kill it. But we are likely to do a lot of damage to it. Yeah, we'll take that. Next up is our Nidhogg, which will absolutely move into position over here. And we're going to use our last set of bombs on this Palisade, which should splash damage the Roughneck. But I want this Palisade dead, ideally. I'm not sure we hit those bombs in the slightest.
I've got multiple weapons with no ammo.
Yeah, I think those bombs just completely whiffed. Okay. Well, the Sorcerer will move up. And the Sorcerer's goal, of course, is now this cluster here. And given our hit odds here, it's gotta be the Marshal. Open fire. Good damage. They can't clump up like this. They just can't. Okay.
That's all you got?
That's not important to us. The Archer will step forward. And the Archer could go for anything here. Whatever the best hit odds are. 55, 78 on that Talos. And that's what we're going to go for then. This will be our last round of Artemis 4 ammo. But that's fine. Ooh! I did not expect that to be a kill.
Well, sweet prince.
Okay, we'll take it.
Long-range missiles.
Roughneck, firing on the Nidhogg. Sure, it did its job already. If you shoot it down, we don't care. It's not shot down yet, though, so they will have to do another turn on it. That's great.
Yeah?
Our Guillotine will continue to come on down here, but I'm actually going to position over here. I don't necessarily want to expose it to fire over here just yet. However, I do think the binary laser into this Palisade's weak side is what we want. We could theoretically kill it here, but we probably won't. There's one. And where's that second hit at? We did structure expose it there. Maybe it kills itself due to burn damage. That Hunchy just changed its position. It did shoot down the Nidhogg. We don't care. The Nidhogg staying alive would have just been a bonus at this point. It's not important. Okay, our bolt-on AMS is now out of ammo
Come
on the Guillotine.
Send me a
That's
real
fine.
mech
We've shot down a lot of missiles with it. So next up, of course, is going to be the Imp advancing down the hill. And our best hit odds are going to be on this Hunchy, I think. 25.9, 28.7. Yeah. So it'll actually be on this Hunchy. Do it.
Tell me what to shoot.
Ooh, we hit with the Gauss. That was big. So the Palisade moves up. It does not die to burn damage. But it also doesn't do much to the Guillotine. Okay, sounds good.
I'm here.
Our Centurion is going to stay put, I think. And we're going to fire on this Grasshopper just because of the positioning.
Aye, aye. Engaging target.
We did manage to hit it, and we got splash damage on everybody. Great. Their other Hunchy firing on the Guillotine, doing a little bit of damage. We don't care. This is fine. Their Ballista is, of course, out of ammo up there.
Yep.
Our Jaeger will advance down to here.
Treadnought.
Question is, do we go for this Hunchy at 55.3, or do we go for this Palisade at much better hit odds and the potential of stray shot? We will go for the Palisade. This is its strong side, so we're unlikely to kill it.
Engaging target.
But it's no longer its strong side, so there's that. That Marshal, firing on our Guillotine, sure. Couple more points of damage, we don't care.
Do they think they can hurt me?
Imagine if we had our full cavalry lance. Like, that would be insane. We're going to move up with our archer here, and let's see what our hit odds are like on this Palisade. 32.7, I actually think we take this. And that's a dead Palisade. Excellent.
I have become death.
So we've got the Ballista up here. We've got the pretty much untouched Roughneck. And we've got the guys over here that the artillery are currently tearing into.
Standing by.
Speaking of artillery, we're going to move over here with our Centurion, and we're going to go ahead and fire on this Grasshopper again. Let's see where we hit. Okay, good enough. We got a little bit of splash damage there. It could have been a better hit, that's for sure. We're going to move the Sorcerer up, and we're going to continue hitting this Grasshopper.
Firing.
How are we doing? Close enough. Good armor shred.
Aye, aye.
The Guillotine is going to move up over here, I think. How do we want to do this? Do we want the Guillotine to engage these guys or the Roughneck? And can we engage only one? I think we're going to sprint up over here and then Vigilance the Guillotine, because it's pretty exposed there on its own. And we will begin firing on this Roughneck.
Roger.
Okay. That second binary laser hit now. Okay, we got 2 hits there. Not bad. So we do expect that they're probably going to fire pretty hard on the Jaeger. Sure. I would have focused this Guillotine. It's very exposed. Of course, that's why I sprinted it and why I vigilanced it. I would not be focusing the Jaeger right now. Of course, I would be, if I was in their position, I would be in full retreat right now. This is a pretty untenable position for them. These Juggernauts, they're not going to stop. We'll go ahead and potshot this guy. I mean, it's possible that we kill it. We didn't, but it's okay. Nowhere is safe. That's what they need to realize. Okay, they're firing on the Guillotine. That is the correct choice. Really?
Watch those heat levels.
They saved ammo. Okay.
Standing by.
Our Guillotine is running real hot now. And we're just going to sprint up to here.
Roger.
And we're going to Vigilance. And that's it. That definitely changes the landscape. I assumed they were out of ammo, but they are not. Okay, the Hunchy moves over. Fires on the Jaeger. That's fine. We don't care.
Light damage, Commander.
Who's our next move? Our next move is the Archer. The Archer can step forward to here and potentially do some damage to the Roughneck. 48%? Yeah, we'll take that.
Roger that.
Good armor shred. These guys are still pretty grouped up. The Hunchy kind of moved in there, too. Okay. That's fine.
Is that all you got? Yeah.
Okay, our Jaeger is going to move over here,
Coordinates received.
and we're going to open fire on that roughneck.
Confirmed.
That's a lot of damage to him.
Aye, aye.
He can't withstand this for too much longer. Our Centurion is going to continue working on this Marshal, choosing him because he's centrally located. Good. That was a very good hit there. Marshal moves up. He's no longer quite as centrally located. They're a little more spread out now, but we would still probably... Actually, given the internal structure damage, I'd probably choose the Grasshopper now. Which, considering it's the Sorcerer's turn, that's pretty much what we need to do. 25.4. I mean, it is 50% on the Marshal. We could maybe fire direct at this point. We could. I'll do it. Oof. That was a couple of very big hits there. The Grasshopper, not too happy. Fires on the Jaeger. We do not care. Completely irrelevant to us.
Real mech warrior.
Okay, yep, they can shoot at the guillotine. That's not surprising. This is why we vigilanced it. The real question, of course, is this ballista out of ammo yet? And the answer is no. No, it is not. We're going to continue shooting at it with the imp.
Roger that. Firing on target.
That's more damage, but not enough. Oof. It just keeps hitting the
Lots
guillotine.
of armor. I'm generating a lot of heat.
Just straight up hitting the
I'm
guillotine.
here.
Okay, we're going to make our way out of here. I am actually going to expose rear armor. Vigilance doesn't actually affect rear hits, but I'm going to do it anyway for the clear on the stability. Okay. Marshal moves up. Fires on the Jaeger. Sure. We'll accept that. Next up is, of course, the Centurion. And given the current location of these guys, we're going to go for the Marshal. Not a good shot at all. Complete whiff.
Damn it, I missed.
Indeed you did. Next up, the Hunchi closes in there.
Enemy flanking.
Yes, this was expected. Really, a structure exposure? That was not expected. In the arm, probably. That was probably in the arm. Yeah, that was in that arm. Just a clam pulse laser in there. It should be fine if we lose that. Not a big deal. Gonna move the Jaeger up to here as a bit of a distraction. Hopefully these guys will pay a bit more attention to it. And we're gonna go for hitting the roughneck here. That was 2 hits right into the CT there, I think.
Something good.
That was solid. Oh yeah. That roughneck, very close to dead. And they are attacking the Jaeger. That's what I hoped for. Not what they should be doing, but what I hoped for.
Ready for order.
The Sorcerer is going to step up over here, and we are going to go in indirect fire mode for this Hunchi. This is exactly the one I want to hit anyway, so this is perfect.
Locking on target.
They shouldn't have centrally located him. That wasn't good ammo, or rather good range there. What am I talking about? That was not good shooting. Oh, sure, please, go for the archer. That's fine. I'm not concerned about that.
I await your
I'm
command.
completely okay with it, in fact. We're going to move up with the archer, and we are going to dead fire on this roughneck. We could very easily kill him.
Locked and loaded. Here it comes.
Oh, that was so close.
Take that.
That's okay. That roughneck, not doing so well. Next up, the Grasshopper moves up, fires on the Jaeger. Sure, it missed everything. We don't mind this. It is our Imp moving next, and the Imp is still looking to take out this ballista.
Affirmative.
Structure exposure and vehicle destruction. Good. Now we don't have to worry about that sniper artillery anymore.
Guys.
So that is perfect.
Standing
The
by.
guillotine is going to move up over this direction. And we're just going to position like this. And we're going to call that good. Okay, the Jaeger is going to back off slightly here, I think, for LOS purposes. And we are going to fire on this roughneck. Very likely a kill here. Ah, we didn't hit the CT. Regardless, that roughneck has very little left in terms of armor. Fires on the archer, but we don't care. The archer can more than take that. And the archer can also close in to this position here. I'm going to vigilance it because it's exposed here. But we are going to finish off the roughneck. There's no way it survives.
I have it.
Okay, it survived,
Solid.
but the pilot ejected. There we go. That's more like it. So there's those guys down. Sure. That's why we vigilanced the archer.
Reporting major armor loss.
Yep.
Standing by.
So the sorcerer will move on over here, and we're going to fire our last 2 arrow 4s right at this Hunchy. Get in there. Okay, some damage spread there, but not as much as I was hoping for. That is a knockdown on this guy, though, and we might be able to utilize that, depending on when he moves. Phase 11, I don't think we're going to move. I don't think we're going to be able to use that before he moves. That's okay. We'll just need to finish off that area over there, and we're going to use our guillotine to come over to the target zone. And we'll just have to push our way through this. Yeah, the archer is definitely taking damage. There's no doubt about that.
I'm here.
The Centurion does still have 1 round of sniper artillery left, and we're going to drop that right on this Marshal.
Confirmed.
Good. That was a great hit right there.
AC-10 ammo depleted.
Excellent.
My
Okay,
thing
next up,
take much
the
more
Imp
of this.
is just going to advance down the hill as much as it can,
Got it.
which isn't
Speed,
a huge
no
amount.
shooting.
Marshal gets up. This is not a shock. These guys over here are very battered, though. And now that we can turn our full attention on them, it should not be a problem. Why go for the Jaeger here? The archer's right there. I'm very confused by this decision-making. But okay, we'll accept it.
Bye.
The archer is going to make its way around to probably here. I am sprinting it, and I'm going to vigilance it because its armor is getting low, to be sure. I'm interested in potentially taking out that Marshal. This Hunchy is pretty fresh in the front. I think we go for the Marshal despite the low hit odds.
Roger that.
We did break through its armor.
Reporting critical hit.
Nice. And we made it unsteady. That's very good for us. Now we're going to come around over this way with the guillotine. And I think there's a way down over here, right? This is not a way down. This is definitely not a way down. Okay, the guillotine's going to have to come around the other direction then. But we're going to go, I think, for the Marshal here. Yeah, we're going to go for the Marshal. It's a little lower hit odds, but I want to penetrate that armor in multiple locations, if at all possible. So we will then hit him again, or miss him again, actually. That's okay. Next up, the Jaeger. The Jaeger moves to the cliff edge. And we go for the big hits on this Marshal.
All weapons fired.
Those are big hits, all right. That's a second knockdown on the Marshal. That's huge. Okay, phase 22. Hunchy moves up. Fires on the Jaeger of all things. Okay, whatever. If that's really what you want to do, I'm not going to dispute it. Our Sorcerer is, of course, out of arrow 4s, and so it will sprint as close to the edge as it can, but it can't bring its lasers to bear until next turn, which is fine. The other Hunchy moves up and does not fire.
I'm here.
The Centurion is in basically the same boat as the Sorcerer,
Fast.
and that's okay. Grasshopper moves up, fires on the Jaeger, does some damage with his medium lasers. Okay. And the Imp is going to close in as much as it possibly can. Next round, I think it can make it to the edge there and start engaging. So this guy will get up. That's fine. That Marshal has basically nothing left in terms of defenses. I don't think we've destroyed many weapons, so. It does back off and fire on the Centurion, but we don't care. It's fine. Just imagine if we had a cavalry lance here, though.
Yes,
That would be insane. So we can position the archer here. This does give us a rear arc on this Hunchy, but I don't care exactly. We may want to do armor strip on the Grasshopper or the Hunchy here. I think we'll armor strip the Grasshopper. I think he's the more threatening one here. I'm going to Vigilance first. And then we'll armor strip him.
confirmed.
Good.
I'm out of long-range missiles.
Yep. But that'll work.
Standing by.
So our guillotine is definitely going to have to make its way back around over here so that we can make our way. I think we can get down this embankment. And that's going to be the goal, of course. And in terms of hit odds here, I think we go for the Grasshopper. We'll continue that armor strip. Get that second binary laser shot in there. Not bad. That'll do. Phase 21, this is their Grasshopper's turn, and he is going to shoot at the Jaeger. That is a structure exposure. Where is that? We need to check where that exposure is.
Reporting. Internal damage.
This guy does move now. It's in this arm. Okay, so we're going to need to turn the Jaeger for sure. And we're going to position it so that the left-hand side is the one facing these guys. So we want to turn like this. There we go. And let's get that sweet, sweet, basically 100% hit chance in here.
All weapons fire.
Nice. Armor broken on the Grasshopper. Marshal backs up, tries to fire on the Jaeger, does not hit. Okay. Sounds good.
Ready for
We're going to move the Sorcerer up into engagement position here. To right here.
position. Confirmed.
And we are going to go ahead and light up the Grasshopper. More armor strip there. I was hoping for internal damage, but it'll have to do. Centurion is still sinking heat, so it will close in over there. Phase 19, that will be this Hunchy's turn. He moves up, fires on the Jaeger, and gets a lot of hits there. However, none of them went into the exposed arm. Great. Phase 17, it's this Hunchy. Once again, the same thing. That's a lot of hits. We may have to pull the Jaeger off the line, especially with that Gauss rifle crit.
Trouble.
We'll have to see. For right now, the Imp is going to get onto the line.
Going turbo.
And this Grasshopper, he's not going to like this. We're going to take the overheat. Yeah, that Grasshopper is really not liking that.
Yeah. Critical hit.
Okay.
You can fry an egg. I'm
So the Archer will advance here. Obviously, we are out of LRMs. We are going to potshot the Grasshopper with the handheld PPC. We could actually run this in field inhibitor off mode, but I don't want to misfire it, so we'll just run the odds.
locked and loading.
And we failed. That's okay. Now, they could very well do a lot of damage to the Archer here. I should have vigilanced it. Okay. They're going to try to do more of that. There's no doubt about it.
Losing armor.
Indeed. However, it is now our Jaeger's turn. And I'm just going to back the Jaeger off here, potentially positioning it here. And I'm going to vigilance it. And I guess we'll fire on this Hunchy. Get some armor strip in there. That was 2 big hits with the Gauss. Great. The other Hunchy moves up, fires on that Jaeger. It's got those pulse lasers. It didn't get through the armor, but our armor is very scary on the Jaeger at this point. We really should probably pull the Archer off the line. Gonna move in with the Sorcerer here. And let's see here. This guy has moved. This guy has not. The Grasshopper also has not. Let's look for the kill on the Grasshopper. I'm not sure we get it. Yeah, we did not get it.
Take that.
Okay, phase 19. This Hunchy moves. This is now the danger point for the Jaeger. Yeah. That's what we were concerned about there.
I'm taking internal damage.
Yeah, I'm aware.
I'm here.
Okay, so the guillotine is going to move up here
Confirmed.
and start moving down the embankment. I do want to fire on this Hunchy here, but they've all moved this round except the Grasshopper.
Copy that.
Yeah, the Jaeger has to come off the line, otherwise we're guaranteed to lose a Gauss rifle, and we may still lose a Gauss rifle here. Now we do have spares. Whoa! He backed up through the fire, and then panicked and ejected due to the heat.
Aye, aye.
I'll allow it.
Position confirmed.
Okay, let's finish off this Hunchy. Actually, we can't finish it, but we can chunk through the armor for sure. Okay, and then the Imp definitely should be on the front line right now.
No sweat.
We will fire on this Hunchy, but we can't fire all of our ER mediums because of heat. That's okay. Sadly, we missed everything there. That makes me very upset.
Come on, mech warriors. It's
Okay.
go time.
The Jaeger is absolutely being pulled off the line here.
Understood. Moving fast.
There we go. Okay, the Archer is going to move up. And we're going to look to melee this Hunchy in its side arc. I'm interested in seeing, let's see here, this will be our left-hand side facing this way. That's perfect. That is perfect.
Roger that.
Boop. Got a nice punch in there.
Target's taking a critical hit.
Indeed. Okay, the other Hunchy moves up, fires on the Centurion. It's fine. The Centurion has plenty of armor. The Jaeger's off the line and is safe.
I hate these guys.
Okay, next up, the Sorcerer is going to... Actually, the Sorcerer can move in here and melee attack. Actually, I don't believe it actually can. So we're going to move up to here instead.
Roger.
Get in this Hunchy's face. This could be a kill. That might be one. Indeed it is.
Hostile.
That's great.
Removed.
And of course that means that we've got the Marshal and the Hunchy left.
I'm here.
Our Centurion is going to stay exactly where it's at unless we can get into the rear arc. We can actually circle around here. This isn't quite rear arc, but it's the same side arc. This is its strong side, but we hit the leg twice there. Okay, we'll see what the Marshal does. Backs off, fires on the Archer in its strong side. Sure, we don't care about this.
Can't take much more of this.
The Guillotine is going to make its way down over here towards our objective, and we're going to probably fire on the Marshal here, I think.
I'm taking the shot.
That's a hit. And our second... That's a miss. But that's okay.
Scored a critical hit.
Indeed.
I hear ya.
So the Imp is going to continue circling around here and really lighting up this Hunchy. We're going to go ahead and fire this medium laser, but not the others.
Right, Commander.
Good hits. That Hunchy is panic level critical. Our Archer is now going to come in, and we are going to... We have to punch this guy. We unfortunately can't fire while punching, but we're going to come in here and boop. Okay, we missed the boop. That makes me sad. Very sad indeed.
I'm here.
Our Guillotine is going to come on down over to here. We may stray shot here, but I don't actually think we care all that much. We're going to try to kill this Marshal.
Okay, I'm on it.
That's not a kill shot for sure. We'll see about the second. Nope. Okay. It is a heat sink destruction, though.
That's the arm.
And an ejection. We'll take it. So I guess that is a kill shot. Now, the Jaeger hasn't moved, or rather the Hunchy hasn't moved yet. I'm not going to position the Jaeger where it can get
Roger.
blown up. Or where its arms can get blown up anyway. Especially when we can just walk in here with the Sorcerer, kick this guy, and fire the ER mediums. Boop. That was a lot of damage. And that was the danger point of that Hunchy gone.
Critical hit.
Excellent.
Standing by.
And now for our Centurion. Right in on the strong side. Nice job. Good positioning, me. However, the Imp can make its way over to here, which does give us LOS,
No shooting.
and we will happily take that. What about this ER medium? Yeah, this is fine.
Time to die.
And that's a kill. Time to exit combat. There we go.
Aye, aye.
The guillotine is going to sprint its way up to here.
Confirmed.
Everybody else is mostly going to sink heat, make their way over to the other one.
On it.
Okay,
Copy that.
that wasn't exactly where I needed that to go, but sure, I don't actually care where the Centurion goes. Realistically, the only ones that we need to move right now is actually just that guy for now. We can just brace all for right now. And we'll take the Sorcerer up over here
Moving to position.
and brace all. And we'll take the Sorcerer up over here, get our secondary zone, brace all.
The secondary asset has been secured.
Excellent. And let's grab the primary asset. There we go. Well, that definitely took a while. It would have been a lot faster with the cavalry lance. But they will be ready to go very, very shortly. Now, we're not going to get much from salvage out of that. We knew that was going to be the case. There was that Gauss rifle crit. I'm not sure if Yang will repair that on his own or not. I'll have to double check that before we deploy next. But we'll just accept his repairs for now, because this should be fine. The Archer did take some damage. The Jaeger is going to take some time to repair too. But that is still going to give us enough money that we should be fine. For case, okay, I'm going to actually get rid of those. The fuel cell engines I'll get rid of as well, and the SRM ammo, that'll probably just get added to our coffers too. Yep, fantastic. So how much do I expect this is going to cost to repair? A fair amount. The Jaeger, the Guillotine, and the Archer all had a very large amount of armor strip, including some internal damage. Nothing major, but I think it's enough to probably put our repairs on the order of 150 to 200k, is my estimate. We'll see how close that is. Should be somewhere around there. Which of course does mean that this was profitable and should still be profitable enough to get us through this month tick. If it's not, we can always get rid of some parts, but I expect that we'll have enough. Okay, 225k, sure. Go ahead and do that. And with that, it is time, long past, to put a cut in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we will get these repairs done, because we can tick past this month tick without a problem. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.